before I answer that, about the political parties who are contesting.
Yes.
One of the major political parties is going to be hoping to take majority of the seats. Is USDA, which is now it's a political wing of the military regime. It's Union Solidarity and Development Association. They form a political party now called USDP, Union Solidarity and Development Party. USDA, the association, has 22 million membership, and including the government employees. The government employees are not permitted to join the political party. So leaving the government employees aside, still this party is going to enjoy a huge number of membership. Another thing is they are much feared by the population. At the village level, they are very feared. And one of the things one have to be aware of is that this election is going to be interesting. It's not just NLD and the regime. It is going to be some individuals who are very much respected in the community, who are independent, financially independent. They have been asked to stand for the certain constituency. So by the USDA or by the military. And another thing is the grassroots level. They are very feared of the authorities, and also they are very much disillusioned by the whole poverty, by the whole political climate in the country. So they will vote for anybody who they ask to vote. So that's a reality on the ground.
Do sanctions make things worse? Yes, but do sanctions? Should sanctions be blamed? For what is happening in the country? The answer is no, because the day in day out decisions and policies are solely in the hands of the Burmese generals, and Gordon Brown, however much we want to criticize him for his hypocrisy and other failures, is not responsible for what is happening in the Burmese peasantry. And secondly, there are UN agencies and other governments who think that a poverty reduction and approach, developmental approach, might help the people on the ground. The ESCAP, the Economic and Social Affairs Council for Asia and Pacific, a UN agency, brought in Joseph Stiglitz. And Stiglitz held 8-hour-long marathon seminar, basically giving the Burmese generals a crash course on rural development and economic 101. And within 7 days of completion of his workshop, Pravda, the Russian news agency, announced that the Burmese generals had purchased almost $600 million worth of MiG-29. And so obviously Stiglitz's advice was well taken by the Burmese generals. And then lastly, I think the USDA that Masri mentioned, there's another organization that we haven't seriously looked at or even touched on, which is the military itself. We have a military dictatorship, and we have a very, very insufficient understanding of the inner workings of the military, the cliques, the general conditions within the rank and file, and what is happening within the military is there is an increase.
When you talk about the military, that
they're sending.
It makes you cough.
They're sending evil spirits here. The morale of the rank and file, it's lowest since its inception in 1942. And I work with, one of my research projects involved interviewing deserting army officers and other ranks. And that's what I've been doing over the past year and a half. And without a single exception, every single officer that I interviewed said they have absolutely no respect for any general in power because of their hypocrisy, their corruption, their ruthlessness, and what broke the Burmese army today is not what it was in 1942 or even 1962. You know, this institution is subject to massive hatred from the population, and now the army officers themselves are fast losing faith and confidence in both the propaganda and the leadership, and that is one of the major developments that's going to have an impact on the internal development.
Justin, one last word.
One last word. I agree with Zarni that the people must take foremost responsibility for anything that goes on in Burma as the army or tactical orders. I thought that was a very pertinent question about whether sanctions in themselves are a type of human rights abuse, human rights violation, whatever you call it. I have sometimes been very close to that view, and for these reasons, which is two of the areas which we've not discussed so far where the record is abysmal is healthcare and education. Education, of course, is very largely determined by government policy. Healthcare, I mean, it is just the fact that by excluding Western pharmaceutical companies, you're excluding a lot of the best cures. And what they have instead sometimes is these fake cures coming down from China, which do much more harm. So, do sanctions hurt the people? I think, by golly, they do. And I had an argument with Mark Farmaner about this. He heads up the DC UK, which in the past has done splendid work in drawing attention, keeping an eye on the sense of what's going on in Burma. We had a bit of a fight. And I said, how do you sleep at night when you support sanctions the whole time? And we haven't spoken to each other since.
I just want to say, I thank you very much. There's so many other discussions we could go on to have. The smarts very much like we will try and keep Burma and Orwell's. I really recommend you reading Burma's Days and a couple of the key Orwell essays, particularly Shooting Elephants, explore the horror of being an imperial power, whether you're a home imperial power actually, if I'm kind of aware of, foreign imperial power, with that kind of bleak ruthlessness that only Orwell could manage. I'd very much like to thank our really wonderful panel. I think we're against sanctions. I think we're against sanctions. My view is we're in favour of smarter sanctions. That must be the way forward. But I'd like to very much thank you for coming. Thank you for all the questions. There are some books you might like to buy, but also to thank our really interesting panel. We can keep going.